I lost my parents in childhood, grew up alone or no one understood, and spent years brooding as an aimless drifter. But through the inspiring words of my father, I'll become a symbol, an icon, a savior to restore hope to those who have none.
You mean like Batman?
I traveled the world as a bearded outcast to discover who I am.
And they're done that.
My friends only speak to me in exposition and speeches of how important and unique I am. If you ask me my life story, I would tell it to you out of order and disjointed. I often have flashbacks out of nowhere about how important my destiny is. I wear a dark tight costume with a long flowing cape too.
I think we shop at the same store.
I have a wise father figure who isn't my father at all.
Suck my balls.
I'm Superman, I'm the freaking Man of Steel. I can do what I can, I am the real deal. I'm the most unique superhero that this world's ever seen.
Except for me.
I'm mentally depressed and psychologically tortured.
Not special.
I've stared into the vast empty void and have come out scarred, yet responsibly stronger.
Same.
I reflect when I'm in my giant dark empty fortress.
Sounds familiar.
I try to save people, but under my protection the civilian death toll is tripled.
Oops.
I'm an awkward nerd.
No, you're not. You're an emo hunk every woman wants to sleep with.
Okay, you're right about that.
Over here.
I have a bland but independent girlfriend who I still have to save most of the time.
You mean like mine? Listen up, twerp. You can't be who I am. You're a speedy, pretty boy, and I'm the friggin' Batman. The dark, brooding loner is my thing, you see, and Zack Snyder sure ain't gonna take that from me. I'm Batman, better than the Man of Steel. You should know who I am. I'm the OG real deal. I'm the most unique superhero that the world's ever seen. So don't steal my thing.
I'm Superman, I'm the freaking Man of Steel. Whenever I can, when I see the day, I'll do whatever I can. I'm here to kill.
Jesus, guy!
What? He was gonna kill some random people I didn't know.
Dude, I didn't even kill the insane clown who murdered my girlfriend.
Oh.
You're sick.
No, I'm Superman!
Coming summer 2015, the Batman and Superman movie. Two of the most polar opposite superheroes coming together at last.
Oh, fuck you, Zack Snyder.
They can be a great people they wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way. For this reason, above all, their capacity for good. I have sent them you, my only son.
Man of Steel sucks!
Man of Steel is freaking awesome and you know it!
Yeah, maybe for blood-hungry psychopaths, but for those of us who love an American icon, it's bullshit!
This is a new kind of Superman, Critic. He's obviously not the one we grew up with.
Yeah, that one made sense!
What, time traveling? Flying around the world?
Mostly made sense.
You just can't accept the fact that this is something new. And while we all know that the first two films are legendary, it's time for a different way of looking at this story that's been told 1,000 times the same way.
Okay, look, I'm sick to death of that bullshit argument, so I'll tell you what. I am willing to look at this in a new light. Because, hey, we should be willing to accept things from a new point of view. I will still try my best to accept this as its own unique thing, without drawing any references from the original movies. Deal?
Deal.
But you have to acknowledge that when a moment sucks, it fucking sucks, no matter how much testosterone-filled bullshit is in it.
I make no promises.
Joe!
Alright, fine.
Well, let's look at the movie that has the internet totally split down the middle. This is either the absolutely loved or absolutely hated Man of Steel. We start off with the birth of our hero on planet every sci-fi movie ever made. And seeing how this is a Zack Snyder film, everything obviously either looks like H.R. Geiger's hand-me-downs or penises. Look at these things! Tell me that doesn't look like the Little Mermaid poster!
I actually quite like the new Krypton look. Sci-fi, medieval mesh, interesting wildlife, but I suppose the floating robots do look a bit like the hairdo in The Last Airbender.
Oh, no, we have interpretations of that in barbed wire. As our High Council is wearing what I assume is Krypton's version of mini roller coasters.
Are you seriously suggesting that we evacuate the entire planet?
No. Everybody here is already dead.
A lot of you know the drill here. Superman's father, Jor-El, played by Russell Crowe, is trying to convince the higher-ups that the planet Krypton is about to explode and nobody believes him. But hell, the entire world blowing up isn't exciting enough. Let's throw in a hostile takeover while we're at it too. This particular hostile takeover is led by General Zod, played by Michael Why Does Everyone Say I Lisp Like Willem Dafoe Shannon.
These lawmakers, with their endless debates, have led Krypton to ruin.
Help me save our race. The degenerative bloodlines that led us to this state.
And who will decide which bloodline survives, Zod? You?
I humbly accept your nomination.
Don't do this, Hell.
So, seeing how Zod's army fought off this world's equivalent of White House security so easily, it only makes sense that Jor-El should be able to fight off Zod's army that broke through this world's equivalent of White House security so easily. I think. He rides on his dragonfly dragon, picks up yet another subplot, because Lord knows we don't have enough of those going on in this opening, and plans to put it in a space pod, sending his son to Earth, who will be the only survivor.
Goodbye, my son.
Nah, shoot, we gotta have that pesky emotion. Come on, this is a Christopher Nolan story. You can throw in more subplots. At least strap that baby to a bomb or something. He rises from the dentist's chair and is sent out towards Earth, just before Zod's forces arrive.
Concentrate fire on the main door!
Yes, person who clearly has no microphone attached to his mouth.
What have you done?
We've had a child, Zod.
Heresy! Destroy it!
They stuff a bag of marshmallows in his mouth before talking?
Heresy! Destroy it!
Heresy! Destroy him! Actually, the funny thing about Michael Shannon's performance is how he manages to be both over-the-top extreme and under-the-bottom restrained. It's kind of like watching Jerry Lewis act. He may start off low and appear not to be very interested, but then, in a millisecond, he can change into "Hey!" with the screaming and the yelling and the nice lady!
Oh, shut up. He did great. Michael Shannon is a damn good actor. He was portraying a bitter, single-minded man who has nothing to lose as he's pushed to the breaking point.
Yeah, but does his breaking point have to sound like a bulldog?
You won't kill us yourself! You wouldn't sully your hands, but you ram us to a black hole. Your turn.
Yeah, well, at least he doesn't sound like a screaming goat when he yells.
Hey! I do not! Hey! Hey! Bearded asshole. But Zod gets the best of him just before security gets the best of Zod. This calls for a Hans Zimmer Bwaum. Is anyone else sick of that sound yet? I swear, if Hans Zimmer did the music to You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, it'd be You're a Good Man, Charlie. So Zod is sentenced to imprisonment in the Phantom Zone.
You believe your son is safe?
I will find him.
Sorry, didn't quite catch that.
I will find him.
No, still didn't get it.
I will find him.
Still not coming through. Tell you what, say it as loud and ridiculously hammy as your cartoonishly large eyes and mouth will allow.
I will find him!
Now I hear ya. No, you won't. Bye.
I swear to God, look at it! Look at it! So they wait for the inevitable, as it's the end of the world as they know it, and everyone feels blandly fine.
you, Laura? Shouldn't you find refuge?
What? I can't hear you over the incredibly quiet destruction of the world.
There is no refuge, Kiro.
So Kal-El travels to the planet known as Earth, where he lands on an episode of Deadliest Catch. Okay, we may have skipped forward a touch, but at least now we have time to give Clark, played by Henry Cavill, some proper development for his character. Or just blow shit up again, because the past 20 minutes clearly haven't shown enough of that.
I am Leonidas Wolverine Brawny Man. Follow my non-flammable pants to freedom.
When Kansas became a territory.
Oh, we're in this kind of story.
What kind of story?
The Out of Order story that got critical acclaim with Memento, so Nolan's been trying to use it with every film he's been attached to. He's a boy, he's a man, he's a teenager, he's a boy again, he's a man. And it wouldn't be so bad if he would at least talk about what he's going through, but he never does.
Wait, aren't you the one saying that Nolan films already have too much dialogue already?
Well, kinda, sorta, maybe. It depends on how you use it. I mean, if it's needed, use it. If it's not, don't.
Well, you actually don't need it here. Scenes like Clark as a boy getting used to his powers are already emotional scenes. You don't have to explain them.
Now that's true. Scenes like this are good on their own, but we're getting background on a guy whose personality we're never given time to know. Look at this. We have a flashback to his childhood, and then we cut back to present time. Then literally 1 minute later, we get another flashback to his childhood. Welcome back. Missed ya. They never give any time to understand this guy. I've got to know the personality of my minute rice more than I have this person.
So what's wrong with that? Lots of us constantly get flashbacks out of nowhere about their troubling childhood.
Joe?
What's that, Papa? No, I don't want to wear the big lobster costume. Why do you make me wear that anyways? No, Papa, no, not the nipple tasers, please!
I think the less I know about this, the better. So after countless moments of intense scenes and harsh action, what is this flashback gonna show? Some intense scenes and harsh action. Wow, this film's running the gamut of all 2 things that can be done with a movie. So young Clark saves the bus of kids, which leads to the dismay of his father, John Kent, played by that voice box that sounds like Kevin Costner. Or maybe it's just Kevin Costner. They're pretty easy to mix up.
We talked about this. Oh, Clark, you have to keep this side of yourself a secret.
And this, of course, gives way to one of the most controversial parts of the movie. John Kent saying he should have let the kids on the bus die.
What was I supposed to do? Just let them die?
Maybe.
Yeah, what do you got to say about that, Joe? Joe?
No, Papa, not the nitroglycerin!
Joe!
Oh. Sorry.
The scene where John Kent says drown the bastards.
Hey, he doesn't say let them die. He says maybe let them die.
That's much better?
Well, it's his way of saying he doesn't know. And that's what's so great about it. Because it mimics real life far more than previous Superman films. It shows that people don't always have the answers. All he knows is that he doesn't want his son to be discovered and hurt. But he never says let them die. He says he doesn't know.
Okay, fine. Tough, confusing world. Why can't Superman's father then talk to him like a father?
What do you mean? He is the one that builds him up.
And that's it. Every line in this movie is just talking about what a messiah he is.
You were sent here for a reason. When the world finds out what you can do, it's going to change everything. You're not just anyone, Clark. You're the answer to Are We Alone in the Universe. Stand proud in front of the human race.
He's less of a tough father and more like a stereotypical Jewish mother.
Oh, you gotta see my son. When the world finds out what he can do, it's gonna change everything. He was sent here for a reason. He's the answer to Are We Alone in the Universe?
Ma'am, 911 is for emergencies only.
Oh, sorry. I could have had a busload of drowned kids for you, but my son saved them too. But don't worry, I punished him properly for that.
Ma'am, never pick up the phone again.
Why does everyone keep telling me that?
Come on, those are some strong, well-written words.
It's every Boring Destiny monologue we've heard before.
Oh yeah? Prove it.
People are afraid of what they don't understand.
You always fear what you don't understand.
People fear what they don't understand.
People fear what they do not understand.
People are frightened by what they don't understand.
He said it differently, though.
We found you in this. This was in the chamber with you. I took it to a metallurgist at Kansas State. He said whatever it was made from didn't even exist on the periodic table. That's another way of saying that it's not from this world, Clark.
They surprisingly asked no questions and let me take my miracle stone home without ever calling anybody. See, they knew how to keep a secret.
And it turns out years later, Clark does a good job carrying that secret. Like when a bully inflicts no physical harm on him whatsoever, so he crucifies his truck, costing God knows how much money in damages. But at least he didn't save anybody. So, seeing how we're watching Clark go on this long journey, are we finally gonna get some idea of what his personality is like? Yeah, you all know the answer to this. Hello, other characters and subplots! One of them being Lois Lane, played by Amy Adams, doing a report on some sort of disturbance.
Oh, hell no, you cannot badmouth Lois Lane. She is a stronger character, a more confident one. She's a risk taker. She doesn't have time for the military's pissing contest. She actually does something in this film, and she's not always screaming for someone to save her.
Yeah, that is until she's hit by the Nolan ray.
The what?
The Nolan ray. You see, I have no doubt that Zack Snyder started off having Lois as an interesting, funny, opinionated character. Because at first, she does seem that way.
If we're done measuring dicks, can you have your people show me what you found?
But then she's zapped by the Nolan ray, and suddenly every line of dialogue is emphasizing the weight of how important the movie you're watching is. Remember when his father was bawling him out like a real father?
Right, we talked about this. You have.
Boom! Nolan ray!
You're the answer to Are We Alone in the Universe?
Remember how Lois Lane was feisty and took no nonsense from anybody?
Well, what can I say? I get writer's block if I'm not wearing a flak jacket.
Boom! Nolan ray!
The questions raised by my rescuer's existence are frightening to contemplate.
Even Perry White, played by Lawrence Fishburne. He starts off in your face screaming about stories and deadlines.
You let Woodburn just shotgun it all over the internet. No, let's make it 3 weeks since you're so willing to agree with me.
Oh, that's way too interesting. Little bit of the Nolan ray will fix that.
Can you imagine how people on this planet would react if they knew there was someone like this out there?
The Nolan ray, because whatever important issue you're talking about, it can always be more important.
Critic, you know, sometimes life is like that. Life can be tough. Life can be cruel. Life can throw lobster costumes and nipple tasers into your reality.
Am I ever gonna know the story to that?
The less you know, the better.
So Lois follows a certain laser-eyeing someone into the ice where she discovers a spaceship. A spaceship that apparently saw her performance in Julie and Julia. But Clark is there to take down the machine, heal her wounds, and apparently leave her for dead. When she observes that Clark has taken the spaceship away, she tries to write a report on it, only to find her boss won't run it. So she lets it leak to the internet.
My editor won't print it, but if it happened to leak online...
But didn't you once describe my site as a creeping cancer of falsehoods?
Hey look, it's TMZ.
That was a good one.
They're the scum of the earth.
So Clark loads the exposition program, and through some pretty awesome effects, a computer with what's left of Jor-El explains Krypton's history.
I am your father, Cal. That's my name.
And I'm Javert!
Our race spread out through the stars. This scout ship was one of thousands launched into the void.
We sent thousands of these scout ships, and yet our backup plan in case the world blows up was a little baby-sized pod. You can see why we didn't last very long.
Artificial population control was established.
So it's explained that Clark is Krypton's first natural birth in centuries. Not exactly sure how they control that, or whether everyone just kept to the honor system, or if they genetically altered babies to be born with chastity belts, but regardless, Clark has apparently broken the chain. And he now knows it's his job to do what he can for all mankind. So he practices flying around the mountainside while the cameraman practices keeping his finger off the goddamn zoom button. Yeah, you may notice very quickly, there's a lot of this in this movie. For no reason at all, whenever there's fast-paced motion, the camera has to zoom in on it like a monkey with a fucking camcorder. How do you think the cinematographer came across that ingenious move?
No, come on, honey, give Daddy the camera. No, I have to show Mr. Snyder my test footage for Man of Steel tomorrow. Please, no, come on, honey. Give it back. Not the self-destruct button, no! I can explain.
I love this.
I knew you would.
So Lois goes searching for her rescuer / leaver of people to die in the snow, and through asking questions and listening to hearsay, she locates exactly where he is. Of course this calls for celebrating with another flashback.
Tired of safe. I just want to do something useful with my life.
So farming, feeding people, that's not useful. Our family's been farming for 5 generations, Clark.
But wait a minute, Papa Kent, didn't you just in a few flashbacks say that he was destined to change the world when people discovered him?
When the world finds out what you can do, it's going to change everything.
And now you're saying you never want him to be discovered and you just want him to be a farmer? I'm starting to think Clark has 3 fathers. Jor-El, John, and John's other friggin' personality. But get ready for a big shock here. Something big and terrible tries to kill them. And thus they all try to seek shelter.
Hey, still in the car! Head to the car!
I'll get him. I'll get him.
No. Get your mom to the overpass.
But wait a minute.
Hey!
What about Boomer?
Boomer will be saved by John, even though it would have been a lot easier if he just sent Clark in to go get him, causing John to hurt his leg, unable to make it back in time. But he stops Clark from saving him because he's an attention-hungry martyr who doesn't want Clark to be outed, even though he's going to be outed just a few years later anyway.
Wait, what? Yep, even though there's about a million other ways this problem could have been solved, John Kent sacrifices himself because he stands by how Clark should change the world by never doing a goddamn thing.
He's just doing what he thinks is right.
But it's not right!
But he thinks it's right.
Does that make it right?
Does that make it not right?
Not right?
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 Right.
Right! What the hell did we just agree on?
You see, this movie's deeper than you think. It's raising questions.
Oh, shut up! While we're at it, why does everyone in this movie take death like a light breeze? All of the people who die in this film never flinch, move, or even make a noise. And these deaths have ranged from stabbing, explosion, and tornado. I think somebody in that lineup would at least go, ow!
Maybe.
Well, the movie's tired of waiting for Clark to actually do anything, so General Zod appears on the Monarch ship to threaten the world to hand him over.
I think whoever's at the helm of that thing is looking to make a dramatic entrance.
Thanks for the arrow, by the way. We never will have known what we were supposed to look at.
You are not. My name is General Zod. I come from a world far from yours.
So it looks like their ability to take over all of Earth's video footage understandably gives a barely visible picture. But for some reason, that sound sure seems crystal clear.
To Kal-El, I say this. Surrender within 24 hours.
And tell Nash thanks for the microphone. It works great.
No problem, tyrannical overlord.
Watch this world suffer the consequences.
This is Orson Welles, ladies and gentlemen, to assure you that the War of the Worlds has no further significance than as the holiday offering it was intended to be.
So Clark tries to figure out what to do and seeks the advice of both his mother and possibly a higher source. What is that?
I don't know where to start. Wherever you want.
I can't make that out. What is that?
Do you know why they want you? No.
Jesus!
I can't hear you of your obvious symbolism!
Jesus! I am Jesus!
We got the point, okay? Go to the next scene! Go to the next scene!
Jesus!
So Clark reveals himself and surrenders to the military, who have also brought in Lois, seeing how she's the only one who knew anything about his existence.
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S.
Oh, I could look at your ass all day.
Really?
Hey, you done worse!
Ass, titties, ass, and titties, ass, titties, ass, and titties.
So he convinces humanity that he's not a threat, and that he's going to hand himself over to Zod. Humanity goes, okay, and lets him turn himself in to Zod's second-in-command, Feora. But she also seems to want Lois to go with too.
General Zod would like this woman to accompany me.
It's all right. I'll go.
We also got Julie and Julia on planet Krypton. You will pay for costing Meryl Streep an Oscar.
As if she doesn't have enough.
Shut up.
So they go aboard Zod's ship, but Clark has a hard time adapting to their atmosphere.
What's happening to him?
He's rejecting our ship's atmospherics. Hello, Cal. Welcome to my weird mental thingy. I and my fellow officers were sentenced to the Phantom Zone.
So Zod explains how they were freed once Krypton was destroyed and how they got the ship working to travel to Earth to find him.
I will find him!
Yeah, we remember. He explains that the Codex for all living things on Krypton is in his possession, and so he has the power to make Krypton live again.
If Krypton lives again, what happens to Earth?
The foundation has to be built on something.
You know, is it really wise to tell your only hope for the future of your race that you're going to destroy his place that he calls home? Wouldn't that kind of make him resistant and thus make things go a little slower? Maybe this wasn't what he was supposed to see. Maybe they accidentally put in the wrong program to show him.
If I give you the Codex, what happens to Earth? The foundation has to be built on something. No! Skulls! Skulls everywhere? Who does that? You can't. This isn't going to make him happy. It'll turn you into a raving psychotic. Run the happy program. The happy program. See? Much better. Look, we've got dancing bunnies here, and oh, look at the flowers all smiling. And oh, there's even a unicorn riding a marshmallow rainbow. Isn't that adorable?
You'll stay here until we remember the incredibly important reason we brought you on board. Does anyone remember why we brought her on board?
This gives her a chance to use Jor-El in a box as they plan what I have to admit is a pretty awesome escape.
Thanks to you, I'm uploading into the ship's mainframe. To your right, fire. Behind you.
Oh my god! I want this guy as an AI on my next first-person shooter game.
Secure yourself inside the open pod. Safe travels, Miss Lane.
This also allows Clark to escape as he's set to go down to Earth and stop them from harming anybody.
We wanted you to learn what it meant to be human first. So that one day, when the time was right, you could be the bridge between two peoples. You can save all of them.
But my father said never to be noticed or help people.
Your father's a twat who directed the postman. You, now go.
I am Jesus! I am Jesus!
We heard you the first time!
Hey, what's wrong with a little savior symbolism here or there?
Here or there? I don't think the Bible has as much Jesus imagery!
Okay, but what would someone who's half immortal and half human be like? Would he be more human or would he be more godlike? Yes, he floats away on a cross, but to me, they're just trying to have him move graceful in space, okay? They're not literally saying he's Jesus or God, and the church scene supports that he's humble. He's more human than we know. He needs the advice of others to help him make the right decisions, and this is when he truly comes over to our side, becomes one of us.
You know what? Forget it. Let's just say you win.
Really?
Yeah, I'll claim as Citizen Kane as long as I don't have to watch any more of this dark unpleasantness. It'll probably please half the angry fanboys, too.
All right, score 1 for Angry Joe. I'm gonna convince you yet.
The hell? You know, how come my show is so easy to hack?
I come from a world far from you. I've traveled over the ocean of stars to reach... hold on a second.
Why the hell do we still have dial-up? This is General Zod. I've been watching your little review and am displeased to discover that you are giving it a positive rating.
Yeah, he loves it now. It's like one of his favorite movies.
Shut up, Joe.
Perhaps you're unaware of how many people watch you, Nostalgia Critic, and how much I personally despise the film you are currently reviewing, and how easy it would be for me to rearrange your testicles so that they look like Jackson Pollock droppings.
That joke's on you, Zod. Once the critic makes up his mind, nothing changes it.
Joe.
You could literally rip his intestines out with an onion peeler.
Joe.
Or you could suck out his eyes with a vacuum hose.
Joe.
Or you could put him in a lobster costume and hang him upside down over a pit of ferrets injected with venom.
Joe! Surprisingly, this isn't helping. Look, Zod.
Hold on, I'm writing that last one down.
Zod, the review isn't done yet. I'm gonna watch it all the way through.
Very good. And if you don't hate it, I will make sure that the corpse they find of you they will never recognize as a corpse.
Hey, that's not fair! Critic, if you go back on your opinion, you're gonna have the whole of the internet hounding you down like an animal.
Can't we all just hate Superman 4? So Clark, or as some people are calling him now, Superman, gets Lois out of the escape pod before it explodes. Aw, what a charming romantic no time for that here. We got exposition to spew.
I didn't want to tell them anything about you, but they did something to me. They looked inside my mind.
It's okay, Lois. They did the same thing to me.
Huh. Guess they forgot to show that scene. Kind of pointless, seeing how they could get the exact same information out of him. Hell, maybe Zod managed to find the correct imagery this time.
You see, Miss Lane, all of this and more can be yours if you just give us the information we require.
Even the unicorn riding the marshmallow rainbow?
Even the unicorn riding the marshmallow rainbow.
So Zod approaches Clark's mother dressed as that thing from the opening of Alien and tries to force her to tell him where the Codex is.
The Codex is not here.
Where has he hidden it?
Oh no.
Where is the Codex?
Does this guy have any charm outside of just shouting his ass off? How'd this guy get this position anyway?
It's all down to shouting!
Superman saves his mother, but potentially dooms this entire town by bringing the battle to them. It seems okay for the moment as Zod can't adapt to Earth's atmosphere, but Miss Not Ursa and her masked minions can make up for that.
I'm sorry, sir. The red, white, and blue pancakes are at Denny's. I appreciate your enthusiasm, though.
And as many people have pointed out, the product placements in this scene are beyond horrendous, including some painful plugs for IHOP, Sears, 7-Eleven, U-Haul. There's so many ads clashing in this scene, I don't think they could properly plug them all in time.
When in town, get a healthy dose of pancakes from IHOP. Oh wait, when you need a little pick-me-up, grab a slushie from 7-Eleven. I mean, when you're looking for clothes for any occasion, Sears is the place for you. Moving soon? Let U-Haul handle all of your services. Oh, now you're not even trying.
All right, I'll give you that one. There is way too much of that in the film. But Critic, you have to admit, the action scene is still amazing.
What, with countless plugs and people dying left and right?
Come on, you know your inner man-child can't look past how amazingly awesome the wanton destruction is.
Damn my testosterone. Of course it's fucking awesome!
I know, right?
Oh my god, that scene where he takes the band and he throws it out there like, yeah, come on! And then she's gotta like hit the guy in the chest, she's like, shoom! And then Superman's like, boom! And like smashes him in the ground. And then they're like going over, it's like Dragon Ball Z, except all the shitty stuff is cut out. Well, some of it's just not Dragon Ball Z shitty stuff, new shitty stuff, but this stuff is awesome!
Pardon me, but was I hearing enjoyment of this picture?
No sir.
Good.
Pussy.
No, that's what I'm going to be if I piss him off. He finally gets their helmets off. Strange seeing how Zod's came off in one explosion and theirs took like a bajillion. And seeing how he's won, he goes back to his mother to see if she's alright.
Nice suit, son.
I'm so sorry.
It's only stuff, Clark.
Oh good. Could you tell the people down the street that? I'm up to my ass in property damages.
But Zod discovers the Codex is in Superman's bloodstream and that he doesn't need to be alive in order for them to get it. So it's time to do a little planet redecorating. Ladies and gentlemen, because you've never seen the destruction of a major city in a summer blockbuster before, we give you that thing we just said. Oh my god, look at all the places they're destroying, including IHOP, Denny's, Toys R Us, Sears. Oh, the ingeniously marketed humanity! So two machines on either side of the world start leveling the planet. This calls for Star Trek-style mumbo-jumbo mixed in with a simple analogy the audience can understand.
The ship is powered by something called a phantom drive. It bends space. Zod's ship uses the same technology, and if we can make the two drives collide with one another,
a singularity can be created.
Like a black hole.
So the army goes to take out the one in the city, while Superman goes to take out the one over the Indian Ocean.
Now, I know there's a lot of people who get angry saying, Superman should have taken the one in the city first. No! It's not just Superman who saves the world with one direct method. Brave civilians, our military, and Superman working together as one. Only he can make it there that fast to the other side of the world. And only he could possibly get around its defenses.
Joe, honestly, this setup is so confusing, I'll just take your word for it.
No! Everybody goes nuts over this, so I'm gonna explain it. What if Superman went for the main one and then they went for the other one there? They may not be able to shut the other one down. Maybe the other one has a self-destruct mechanism which would blow up the entire Earth if the first one got blown up.
So Zod adapts to the Earth's atmosphere. Apparently half a lifetime of getting used to this can be reduced down to a couple of seconds now, and grabs the scout ship in order to start rebuilding Krypton. Meanwhile, Lois is on board the military ship about to blast the other one to hell, when something seems to go wrong.
There's something wrong. It's not supposed to do this.
Well, what's it supposed to do?
It's supposed to go in all the way.
Damn it, Lois, you had one job that we pointlessly put you in charge of, and that was just to push a button. And you couldn't even do that right! They do eventually get it to work, but Zod is hot on their trail.
Target that aircraft.
Terminate with extreme disinterest.
But Superman stops the machine over the Indian Ocean and flies back to destroy Zod on his ship.
Zod! If you destroy this ship, you destroy Krypton! Krypton had its chance!
The bridge between two worlds, everybody! If you have a chance to save a civilization, but yeah, they were kind of jerks, just destroy any chance of them ever coming back. I guess the bridge in this movie is code for either us or them. And honestly, even us kind of got the raw end of it.
Are they gone?
I think so.
They saved us.
Oh, for God's sake. Could you say that in a part of the city that doesn't look quite so 9/11'd? For crying out loud, all that's missing is Bush and a banner that says mission accomplished.
You know, they say it's all downhill after the first kiss.
Who the hell says that? But it turns out Zod is still alive and angry that his future has been reduced to hot chocolate mix.
I exist only to protect Krypton. And every action I take, no matter how violent or how cruel, is for the greater good.
So Zod vows to destroy Superman at any cost. Logically, seeing how he'll chase Superman anywhere, Superman leads him to a location far away from the people so that none of them will ever get hurt, or he once again brings the most dangerous thing in the world to the people he swore to protect. Yeah, I'm sure they're really thankful.
Thanks for saving us, Superman.
Yeah, imagine the real damage that could have been done if you didn't come to our planet. Oh look, Zod. Oh Jesus is gonna save us again! Way to go, Superman, putting us above all else again!
Oh God! Is that the Statue of Liberty?
Superman gets him in a headlock, but Zod vows to make what he supposedly cares for most suffer.
Don't do this!
Even though there's about 3 or 4 different ways those people could probably get out of there.
You have to admit, Soup, this isn't all me. These people are just kind of idiots.
Never.
Thus we get our biggest controversial moment in all of the movie. Superman breaks Zod's neck. Really? Nothing from you on that one, Joe? Oh.
And that's how I saved Christmas, with a lightning gun! What was I talking about?
The controversial neck-breaking scene.
Oh, you know, I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw that scene, I hated it. But the more you really think about it, this is a really bold choice, because ultimately it lets Zod win. It plays again to a young and inexperienced Clark and how he knows his actions will have huge ramifications.
Yeah, it's because having the city nuked didn't have enough ramifications.
Point being, it's a catalyst now for why he will never ever take another life. The fact that he had to do it to one of his own people, one of the last remaining Kryptonians. At that moment, he not only chooses to be human, but he makes the ultimate sacrifice for humanity. And he also makes himself forever alone.
I agree.
Ha! I knew you'd say that! Wait, what?
Yeah, surprisingly, the most hated scene by so many fans actually didn't bother me that much. I mean, keep in mind, we saw Superman kill Zod in the second movie and no one had a heart attack over that. And on top of that, even though it could have been illustrated better, I like the idea they were going for. That you won't always have answers to situations that are always ethically pleasing. It's actually a very difficult, very hard thing to come to grips with. Too bad it's forgotten in the very next scene. He just blows some more shit up because, like I said, we haven't seen enough of that.
Yeah, it's pretty rushed. I mean, he takes down a satellite and then they make a joke about how hot he is and they never bring it up again. It's almost like the scene before never freaking happened. It really pisses me the fuck off. They just ruined it right there.
They never established that killing people was a big thing for him. Hell, we saw so many other civilians die, I figured that he'd be used to seeing it by now.
We never actually see any of those people die as a direct result from Superman. I mean, sure, we see people die when Zod's ship is like humping the Earth, but I get what you're saying. You're actually saying we agree on the neck break then.
I think so.
The one part most fans universally hate, we actually think is okay?
For the most part, yeah.
So does that mean you actually like it, Critic?
Yes. Does that mean you actually like this, Nostalgia Critic?
I still think this movie is awful!
Oh, come on, man!
Huh? No, I'm sorry. I just think it's terrible. There are some things I like. All the actors to play these roles are good choices. The action scenes are awesome. And though I like the more upbeat Superman, I'm open to the idea of a darker version. But these characters have no identity. Outside of their job and how they look, you wouldn't even know that this was Clark Kent or Lois Lane if they didn't call them Clark Kent or Lois Lane. The millions of subplots are not needed and get in the way of any emotional connection we want to make. The incoherent storytelling is pointless and annoying, and as a superhero, he lets way too many people die in this. Even if he took Superman's name off of this, I still wouldn't like this stupid, illogical mess.
I think you're totally wrong, Critic. Everything you just said. Those characters seem boring to you because they're not as over the top or single-noted as the comic book ones or the Christopher Reeves versions. It's a new kind of Superman that needs a less cliched character, okay? It needs a tougher and darker outlook because we've seen the other Superman stories already. Those are still there. And by putting in these morally confusing lessons that you call illogical, I see them as challenging. And there's no way to save every single buddy like in previous movies and always get your way. There's just a man struggling between what it means to be human and more than human, and trying to do the right thing. Yet he still manages to rise above it and save us all. This movie is awesome.
Oh please, you Houstonians will read too much into anything!
Why don't you say that to my fist, hair gel?
Oh, look who's talking!
That's what I am.
They can be a great people they wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way. For this reason, above all, their capacity for good. I have sent them you, my only son.
I think I understand now. Joe, I will never like this movie. I think it's an insult to everything Superman stands for, and I will never understand how you could actually like it.
Oh, nice.
But just because I can't see how doesn't mean I can't understand why.
Oh, because I'm a blood-hungry psychopath, right?
No! I mean, you are, but that's not why I think you like it. When I see this movie, I see people dying for the sake of getting violent, craving teens in the seats. But that's not what you see. You see one of your favorite superheroes being tested and put through a greater challenge than ever before. And by having him witness and go through so much intensity, it makes his challenges seem greater and his struggle all the more interesting. For you, and probably a lot of the people that enjoyed this movie, you're seeing the Man of Steel go up against some of the greatest evil that he's ever gone up against, because of how much damage he does. So when he rises up, you can feel all the more proud of what a terrible thing he stopped. It's not craving dark, horrible things like a maniac. It's seeing someone fight against those dark, horrible things. And not just through him holding heavy stuff, but by standing up for what he feels is important. I don't see the same thing, but at the very least, I know that's what you see. So, as long as you're viewing it because you want to see the best of strength and kindness rise up against the worst of oppression and force, all I can say is, go ahead and enjoy it, man.
Thanks for understanding me.
That middle of the road bullshit won't work on me, Houstonian!
Don't worry, Critic. I'll stop him. Just tell me his location. Hey, how are you doing that?
Much better. Now, prepare for an entree of spilled organs and pain!
Oh, for Christ's sake, will you guys stop punching holes in my ceiling?
Here to stop you again, Zod.
Stay back, Superman, or the Critic's toast!
Careful, Zod. You know what I can do.
Oh yeah? What are you gonna do? Kill me? You break my neck, you'll have message boards all over you like an unemployed writer at Starbucks! So come on, big man, what are you gonna do?
You lasered his balls off?
Yep. But at least I didn't kill him.
But you lasered his balls off!
I mean, he had it coming, and I'm surprised he had him to begin with.
Jesus. Well, then what'd you do?
You know, the usual. Made sure they got Zod. Made out with Lois for a bit. Flew into space. Smiled for the camera.
And I bet you were played off to a Hans Zimmer theme.
Come on, man.
No. I swear, they're like exactly the same. I mean, here's my theme. Now here's your theme. It's like a semitone off.
Hey, you know, speaking of rip-offs, does this seem at all familiar to you?
What do you mean?
Like, just this whole setup. I feel like I might have seen this before.
Oh my god, don't look!
What?
I said don't look! You looked, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Did they see you?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
I can check.
Don't look!
They're looking right at us.
Just keep your eyes down on the table. Hey. Batman doesn't have a beard! We don't hear that. And we're keeping our eyes down on the table.
It's time for another super promotion! Oh, who's this kid? Oh, what, he's got a video camera? Oh, you must be a star then, wow. Oh yeah, you gonna hold that one shot forever? Yo, this is gonna be incredibly good, right? Holy shit! Wow, alright, this is not all what I thought it was gonna be. Listen closely, attention span of the internet. The first half a minute of Super Academy is not at all what you think it's gonna be. It's actually pretty awesome. This young man named Power Kid wants to go and be a superhero, so he goes to Super Academy, but he has a backstory. So he teams up with a band of misfits to see if they can actually become real heroes in real life. It's kind of like that movie Sky High, except people can swear in it, and they'll probably be more open to accepting it because it's not Disney. Seriously though, that movie was extremely underrated. I mean, how come people don't like it? Bruce Campbell was the gym coach. Regardless, this show is very much like that. Okay, it does not have Bruce Campbell as a gym coach, but I did hear they were gonna get Jennifer Lawrence as an art teacher. That is a lie. I just saw Catching Fire, though, and she's been on my mind for a bit. More than a bit. I should see someone. Regardless, Super Academy. It has everything. Action, adventure, comedy. This person. Who is that person? Only one way to find out. Watch Super Academy. When will Jennifer Lawrence answer my stalk emails?